A tear that had gathered at the corner of Marin's eye broke free, tracing a thin path down her cheek. The Duke is only human. This could happen to anyone. It's perfectly natural. Completely normal. So shameful. So utterly shameful. She buried her face in the pillow and wailed, wiping at the moisture with trembling hands. Before awakening to her past life's memories, she had spent her entire existence as a proper noble young lady. For someone raised that way, shame over such a situation wasn't merely discomfort, it was instinctive, bone-deep, inescapable. Her tear-blurred gaze drifted to the basket beside her bed. Still overflowing with yellow mandrelson flowers. Marin raised one weak, accusatory finger. "Why you, see cursed flowers?" The finger collapsed back onto the mattress. "Miss Marin? It's Julia. Come in." She heard the door open and dragged herself into a half-sitting position. Julia rolled a small cart through the doorway, her face creased with worry. "Miss Marin, I heard you're unwell?" "Julia." Her head felt like it might actually combust. "You're flushed." Julia pressed a cool hand to her forehead. "You look feverish. And the medicine I brought is for stomach pain." She retrieved the bottle from the cart. Olive, it seemed, knew exactly what had ailed her. The tears Marin had been fighting broke free once more. I've already taken that," sob. "Miss Marin, please don't cry. You must be feeling terrible." "No. Not terrible, my soul hurts. NNGH. She shook her head violently, swiping at her eyes. Her body had fully recovered. She simply wanted to dissolve into the floor from mortification. "Oh. Mandrelson." Julia's attention had shifted to the basket. Her eyes lit up. "How fortunate. Miss Marin, may I have some?" Take it all." She couldn't bear to look at the cursed flowers ever again. "Just a little will do." "One moment." Julia scooped up a handful of blooms and darted from the room before Marin could respond. Left alone, Marin glowered at the medicine bottle through her tears. "Betrayal," she muttered darkly. "Complete and utter betrayal." Ranting against the absent Duke helped, somehow. The shame retreated fractionally. "Miss Marin? Come in." Marin pushed herself upright again. This time Julia carried a tray. Upon it sat a square of thin white cloth and a bowl of green mush, leaves ground into paste. "What's this?" "An old remedy I learned as a child." Julia smiled shyly. "When fever rises to your head, you apply crushed mandrelson to cool it down." "Really?" "Lie back, please." Marin closed her eyes and settled against the pillows. A moment later, something cool and damp touched her forehead and eyelids. The heat began to drain away, replaced by the sharp, minty scent of mandrelson. "It's helping," she murmured. "Is it? I used to do this for my little brother all the time when we were young." "You have a brother?" "Yes. We're twins, actually. He serves in the castle too." "I see." Marin let out a contented sigh. "Thank you for taking care of me, Julia. Truly." "Heh. It's nothing. I'm happy to help you, Miss Marin." This really is a great help." "Wait." Marin bolted upright so suddenly that the cloth and green paste slid off her face and splattered onto the bedding. "Miss Marin." Julia's eyes went wide with alarm. "Julia." Marin seized the girl's hands, her face splitting into a brilliant smile. "You've been incredibly helpful. Thank you. Thank you so much." Julia stared at her, at the green mush dripping down her cheeks, at the manic joy blazing in her eyes, and smiled back uncertainly. The realization struck Marin like lightning. The efficacy remained uncertain. But even the smallest benefit would be worthwhile. "Don't expect too much," she muttered to herself, determination hardening her features. Leave the complete healing to the holy goddess of herbs, the true heroine. She nodded firmly. Julia, watching this display, met Marin's gaze with growing concern. Marin's entire face was streaked green from the dripping paste. But she was beaming, teeth gleaming white against the verdant mess, as though she'd solved the riddle of existence itself. Julia's smile grew strained. Something was definitely wrong with Miss Marin tonight. Julia resolved to do exactly as instructed, stay by her side without sleeping. Keep vigil through the night. Just in case. Enter. Marin surveyed the cart she'd prepared with military precision. A plate bearing fresh mandrelson paste. A square of nearly transparent thin cloth. The fairy tale book. A lit candle. She opened the study door and rolled the cart inside as quietly as humanly possible. Alive, then. The words drifted from the darkness. Marin's shoulders jerked. The shame she'd buried last night clawed its way back to the surface. She steeled herself. Drew upon every scrap of courage she possessed. Her light green eyes sparkled with feigned innocence as she asked, "Why would your grace say such a thing? Did something happen?" If she'd lived her entire life as merely a sheltered noblewoman, she would never have set foot in this study again. But Marin was not some fragile flower ready to wilt from embarrassment. Nothing at all. She caught the slight inclination of his head. Her answer had satisfied him. Emboldened, Marin wheeled the cart closer. "Before we begin tonight's reading, I have a request, Your Grace." "A request?" "Yes. And why should I grant it?" She forced her expression into something approaching a smile. The old saying claimed that no one spits in a smiling face. "I believe this will help you, Your Grace." "By making a request of me, you claim to be helping me?" "Yes." "And if I refuse?" Her smile flickered. She wrestled it back into place. "You won't refuse." "What if I do?" The pleasant mask crumbled. She pouted instead. "If your grace dislikes it, I will fulfill any wish in return." "Better." She pushed the cart the final distance and drew a breath. "Then, with your permission, I will need to approach your grace directly. And I may need to touch your body." "What?" Marin froze mid-explanation. "I'm sorry? What did you just say?" His voice had dropped, low, dark, weighted with something she couldn't identify. The usual indifference had vanished entirely. In its place was an intensity that made her skin prickle. What did I say wrong?" "Repeat it." "Exactly." Marin swallowed and tried again, her words halting with confusion. "I said, with permission. I would approach you and touch, so you're warning me in advance that you intend to throw yourself at my body?" A pause. How innovative. What? Understanding crashed over her. Her face ignited, ears, cheeks, neck, all erupting in furious crimson. "That's not what I meant." The words emerged strangled. "Your Grace. That is not, I would never." But even as she sputtered, she could have sworn she heard his shoulders shake. Just slightly. Just for a moment.